Well, hey, class of 2020. It's Ralston here again with another interview um, with Garner Goode. Um, yeah, so we're going to be talking to you guys today just a little bit about, what it means to graduate and also just to stay connected to the Lipscomb community and to the Lipscomb family, into the years after graduation. And so Garner has been a great example of that throughout his time being an alumni. And so he's got some great insight to share with you guys today. So, hey, Garner, what's going on?
Hey, just doing my part, staying apart.
Yeah, good. That's awesome.
It's really what it is right now. That's all it is.
Yeah, I mean, what you can't really do anything else. It's weird.
That's
Yeah,
right. How are you today?
I'm good. Just been busy trying to work from home and figure out, you know, what the next steps are for Lipscomb, and it's been crazy.
Well, you guys have been doing a great job. I've been following you on social media, and it looks like you're getting a lot of interaction and some response. So it's some good stuff. So good job there.
Yeah, I appreciate it. We that has been the hardest thing, just trying to like create content and come up with stuff. Did you see our draw along with Tom Bancroft drawing Simba?
I did. I didn't watch it live, but I went and was there a replay
Yeah,
somewhere?
yeah,
Yeah. So I watched it through that. I mean, that's pretty cool, right? That you've got a faculty member who it has that level of talent and, has drawn on Disney movies for him to just kind of go over the shoulder. So I mean, that's pretty unique. There's not a lot of people offering that. So
Well,
that was,
yeah. I mean, it was awesome. I followed along with him when he was doing his live drawing. Um, and it was fascinating. He would just like talk about working at Disney and what it was like, and getting to work on all these movies. It was really, really cool, really unique experience, for sure. But yeah, well, Garner, there's plenty of seniors out there who probably have no idea who you are. So why don't you kind of tell us, a little bit about yourself, when you graduated, what you've been up to since then, what you're doing now.
okay. Well, I graduated in undergraduate in 2008, and I was fortunate enough to stay on with the university and worked in the campus life office doing student involvement. So we were planning activities. If they know of SAB, that was something I got to create and kind of be a part of, and and bounced around to a few different areas. But in October, I took a job with the Nashville Predators, and so I'm the senior manager of corporate development for the Nashville Predators. So anything that has a brand or brand partnership identity with the Predators, I get to kind of have a role in that. I work with a great group of people where day in and day out, they just, they're professionals in what they do. So they're incredible at their job. And so I get the opportunity to kind of work with them in a professional setting. So that's my current job, but Lipscomb is near and dear to my heart. So I love it a whole bunch.
Yeah, yeah, that's a pretty sweet gig. Just getting to work for the Preds, go to all the games, and that's pretty awesome. That's cool that you've made it this far in your career.
It's a pretty awesome spot. It's downtown. It sees a lot of venues. I mean, I think in the first 2 weeks of me being there, it was Ariana Grande and Elton John were within like a week of each other. So it was pretty neat.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, cool. Well, let's just jump into this interview and get to some of these questions here. I don't want to take up too much of your time, so we'll get into it. Um, but just from my relationship with you and knowing you, you're involved in Lipscomb for just with multi different facets of campus life. Um, you've spent part of your career working there. You lead mission trips. You're a member of the Hillsborough Church of Christ, and so you've done a lot with their college ministry. Um, and also, you've been a big giver to the university. Continually donating money to the university. So you've been involved and been a part of the Lipscomb community for a long time. And I just want you to kind of talk about why is it important to stay connected to your alma mater after you graduate?
Well, I mean, Lipscomb's a community. I mean, what makes us different than most other universities is the fact that we get the opportunity to have some shared relations on a small campus, right? I mean, we most of our class sizes are 30 to 40 people at most. I mean, when you get into your senior level classes, there's a small, tiny group of people that that we have those shared communities with. So it's really important for me to continue to kind of lift it up and support it in different ways that I can. And financially is one of them, but I can also pour some time and energy into it, right? I mean, we can have conversations like this. We can do interviews, but we can also be supportive of events on campus, so through the arts or through athletics, and we can be there. What we get through Lipscomb that other universities don't offer is that one step further to have a one-to-one relationship with people. I mean, we can, there's a good chance that if somebody's watching this, I've had a personal relationship with them, right? We've had a conversation with them. I've been able to speak to them in some way. And, being a part of Lipscomb it runs really deep. And when you run into a Lipscomb alum out in the wild, in the community, you immediately have a connection. And so, my biggest thing is to pour energy and effort back into that community.
Yeah. Yeah. So what made you then, want to stay connected after you graduated? Because you could have easily just said, I'm graduated, I'm done. I don't want to, I want to kind of move on and see what the world has to offer. But what made you want to stay connected?
Well, I think that it doesn't feed into, it's not as successful as it would be. I'm sorry, I'm getting a call. But it's not as successful as it would be if you just walked away from it, right? If every generation of graduate walked off the stage, took their diploma, and then didn't care anything about the college anymore, it would just die off. And so you have to keep feeding back into it in order for it to be successful, because that's what makes Lipscomb unique, is that there are, like we were just talking about, alums and faculty members that are a part of these huge organizations and these huge corporations, and their experience and the availability to the student is what makes Lipscomb so great. So if I walked away from it, I think I would be doing Lipscomb a distrust.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's great. So then, staying connected then, there are a lot of benefits to staying connected to the community. I mean, you have the personal relationships that you have with, the members of your churches that you're a part of, or your professors, or, your peers. But there's also professional benefits as well. Just the connections that Lipscomb has to different employers around Nashville and around the world. So just kind of talk us through just a little bit of, what are some of those benefits that you get from staying connected?
Well, I mean, the benefits from staying connected is, I mean, first of all, it's a community gathering point, right? It's a watering
Yeah.
hole. And so when you're at a basketball game, if you're sitting in the stands with people, you're kind of in between media timeouts, you're having conversations, you're doing something like that. You may make some small talk and create some community through that. But I mean, the true value of it is being a part of a group of people that kind of believe in more than just an educational process, right? There's an effort and an energy behind it. The reason people are a part of this community is because they believe in it. They believe in the mission behind it. They believe in the overall value of what it offers. So, the value of the community is, I think that we are called um, we're kind of held to a higher calling as people who are here on this earth, and so that gives us the ability to have a shared camaraderie with other people who share similar beliefs in the way that which we do that. So it's just almost necessity, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I had an interview with Lauren King this morning before we chatted. And she just talked about the necessity of community and the necessity of staying connected and plugged in to some just body organization, whether that be church, whether that be Lipscomb.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just amazing how how important that body and that community is to just our well-being, our mental and emotional health. So yeah, that's huge. And it's cool to hear the same themes from different people. But yeah, so again, I don't want to take up too much of your time, and I want this to be pretty brief. But last question I have for you is, what has probably been your favorite part of staying plugged in and connected to the Lipscomb community?
I mean, for me, so I wouldn't be who I am today without Lipscomb in my life. I think one of the major factors of that was I'm from a small town in West Tennessee, Dresden, Tennessee. It's got 2,800 people, depending on when you're counting. And when I first got to Lipscomb, there was all this talk about going on mission trips and doing things like that. I didn't want to go and just knock on doors and canvass a neighborhood and tell people about the good news. I wanted to work and do and so Hillsborough Church Christ, where I still go to church, had a mission trip where they were going to Honduras, and I started going when I was a freshman, and I've missed it twice in the time that I have left. So since 2004 to now, I've only missed 2 times, and once was when I married my wife and we got married, and the other one was the birth of our first child. So it holds a pretty heavy stake in who I am and kind of developing who I am. I guess technically I didn't get to go this time. I didn't get to go this spring break because of the COVID stuff, but we'll make that trip up. But missions has grown as a part of Lipscomb and really a part of the community. I mean, student organized mission trips and student led and participated mission trips really wasn't something that happened in the late 80s and really even to the early 90s, late 90s. And so it's something that has just kind of freshly come on to Lipscomb over the last 20 years. And I've been fortunate enough to be a part of that. And, the missions team it's so critical in creating opportunities for 18 to 25-year-olds to get to kind of grow and develop, right? I mean, you go maybe for a week or a month at a time, depending on the schedule, and you get to be hands, and you get to be the salt, and you get to go and be light to these people and biblically carry out these works, right? And so you get to do it in all different ways, and it doesn't require getting a passport and going to another country. You can do it from a mile from where I'm sitting right now. Lipscomb University students have impacted that community. And so for me, missions has been a huge part. You get to have a one-to-one conversation with students. You get to kind of develop and grow with them. And it's something special. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to, there was a mission trip where 3 participants were baptized in that week's time. I was able to baptize those 3 people. I'm still great friends with them. We're not just mission trip leader and participant. I mean, we have a real relationship. Those girls are friends to my family, and they've seen my daughter and son grow up. And other participants, I've had the opportunity to officiate their wedding, and I mean, it's something that really impacts and plays a big role in a life. It becomes an anchor point in your life. And so Lipscomb missions for me is something that I hold dear and hope to continue to be a part of. But it just is an extra layer to the community of Lipscomb as a whole.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I'm really glad you mentioned, some of the relationships you've gotten to have, because that's what it's all about, right? It's about the relationships. Again, going back to that community, aspect of staying connected and being involved. So I'm really glad you touched on those relationships and what those meant. And you've got some other stories too, of just how you have impacted the lives of students on those trips. You married a couple, didn't you?
I did. I got to officiate their wedding, not on the trip, but they were both on a trip to Honduras, and a, a couple years later they started dating. A couple years later they got married, and they asked me to officiate their wedding as kind of one of the starting points of their relationship was this trip to Honduras that they had. So I was blessed enough to officiate their wedding, and they just welcomed their second child into the world, and they're we stay plugged in and connected pretty well. So it's a great opportunity. It's really something special.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I think, just being a year out, it's hard to see, the impact that you're going to have on this community, into the future, right? Like it's hard for me to imagine myself in 20, 30 years of staying connected and staying involved to the Lipscomb community and the people and the lives that, I'll be able to impact and touch by just simply going on mission trips and staying connected and maybe even leading a Bible study. I mean, whatever it is. So it's really cool that you have these experiences and you can share that with these graduates who just their world's ahead of them, right?
The only thing you can't do though is 10 or 15 years look back and go, man, I wish I had.
Yeah.
That opportunity's lost, right? You can do it now and then change and develop and grow, but you got to plug in. You got to just do it. Just hit the button and go. And I mean, and that's if I could tell if I have any advice to a fresh off the block, just graduated person, I mean, your financial situation, your social situation, your geographical situation, all those things are different. But if this time of quarantine has showed us, we don't have to geographically be in an area to impact it, right? We
Mm-hmm.
don't have to be on the campus to make a difference. We can be wherever we are, and we can plug in and we can communicate, we can mentor, we can advise, we can do all these different things. And so just do it. That's the biggest thing, is just get involved. So
Yeah.
you're probably hearing my kids come in. We're also running a full-blown educational system here in this COVID time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, we have been too.
Teacher. I'm not a good teacher. Those that are teachers, my hat goes off to them, because they are incredible people, and I undervalued them.
Yeah. Oh, we're all, I think, feeling that. Luckily, I have no kids, so I don't have to worry about it. But my mom's a teacher, and I work at the dining room table. She works, this is her desk, and then my dad works in the corner back there.
Okay.
Um,
I saw your dad here for a minute. I think you walked by.
yeah, he made his appearance. So we've just all just kind of been having to work from, our living room and dining room area. So it's been crazy, but yeah. Well, hey, I really appreciate, you getting on today, and sharing your wisdom and your advice, with this class of, graduates that we have.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it. I'm pretty easy to find. If there is someone watching this that I can connect with, in any form or fashion, feel free to reach out to me. You can find me on almost all socials, and if I can be supportive of a Lipscomb alum, then I'm happy to do it.
Yeah. Well, hey, we appreciate it, Garner. And also too, like you said, if you want to get involved and you want to get connected and stay involved, please reach out to our office. I'll have, links to our social media pages, on this video at the very end, so you guys will know how to reach out, how to get involved, how to stay connected. But we really appreciate you guys. And we're excited to have you guys a part of the alumni community and the alumni family. So just be on the lookout for emails from our office, and wait to just find out how you can stay involved and stay connected. I mean, if there's anything we can ever do for you, please don't hesitate to reach out. But again, I really appreciate it, Garner. Thank you.
Yeah, man. I'll see you later.
Yeah. See you, brother.
Go Bisons.
Yeah. Go Bisons.